Hello and welcome to another episode of the Portrait Profit Show. I'm so glad you're here with me this evening. We have really fantastic panelists lined up for you this evening to give you their opinion here in just a moment. But before I do, my name is Jim Landers, and I help portrait photographers just like you make a great income doing what they love. Each week on the Portrait Profit Show, you get tips and systems on the business side of photography designed to help you gain a mastery over marketing and sales so you can get exactly what you deserve. You're in the right place. Welcome to the Portrait Profit Show. The Portrait Profit Show is brought to you by Digital Pro Lab and Landers Photography School. Now, before I bring on the panelists, I want to encourage you guys. Leave comments and ask questions. But before you do any of that, there's something going across the bottom of the screen right now, and this is information about the platform that we use to be able to share this message with everybody, to have the show. We simulcast this show to several different places, a total of 8 different places. There are 5 Facebook groups, 2 YouTube channels, and 1 LinkedIn page that this is simulcast to the same exact time. But because of that, I won't be able to see your comments unless you do what's going across the bottom of the screen right now, and that's give StreamYard, our platform, permission to use your name. Now, it's only going to show me those that are on Facebook. It's not going to show me those that are on LinkedIn and YouTube. Sorry about that. But still, you guys do. I want you to leave comments because I'll go by and check on them later. But as far as during, I want to encourage you to participate and to say things and to comment and to ask questions. And sometimes I'm able to add in a question that you guys ask and ask the panelists. So please do that. I also encourage you to hit that like button and hit that love button. These panelists are taking time out of something else that they're doing. They're sacrificing their time. The least I think you could do, right, is hit that like button. Yeah, I know you can. All right. I also want you to enter in right now, hashtag live over in the comments section. Enter in hashtag live. That way I know you're here. If you're watching this here now, if you're watching this as a replay, will you do me a favor and enter in hashtag replay? So that way later I know the difference between those who watched live and those who watched as a replay. But right now, do me a favor, enter in hashtag replay. Let me know that you're here. Man. All right. So we have a really cool panel discussion today. Now, I know all of our panel discussions are really cool. And yes, I say every time they're the best ones ever. They're great. We love them. Yeah, of course, because they are fantastic. They are donating their time and their energy and their years of experience and sharing with you what they have learned. And so, yeah, our panelists rock. We love them. All right. So let me give you a kind of a description of what we're doing today. You're joining us for a panel about the sales side. Enjoying the sales part is the name of this panel, and you're going to be learning from experts who are turning their dreams into reality. I want you to get ready, get inspired, take some notes, and feel more confident when it comes to the sales and selling side of things. Amanda from Digital Pro Lab normally is joining us for these, and we have a little discussion ahead of time, but she is busy getting your work out that you sent to the lab. You guys sent a lot of work to her, and that's fantastic. But now she and her staff have to stay a little late getting it done. So if you sent your stuff to them, know you're in good hands because she's there making sure things are happening. She and her staff are fantastic. So I want to welcome you to our discussion panel on enjoying the sales part. As always, for our monthly sales panel discussions, we have a group of esteemed guests who have valuable insights to share. Each of our panelists has different perspectives on selling, and they are here to inspire and motivate you to do the same. So get ready to be inspired and gain the motivation you need to enjoy the sales part. So I'm going to bring each one of them on here for just a moment. Then I'm going to allow them to do a self-introduction. So here are our panelists, bringing them on all at the same time. Hey guys.
Hi. Hello.
I'm so glad you're here with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Jade, I think you might be muted.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I'm so glad you guys are here. All right. So, you guys already know what's going to happen, but what I'm going to be doing is inviting you guys on one at a time to do an introduction of yourself. And then I'm going to ask a series of questions, and I'm going to allow each one of you to answer that same exact question. That way, we as viewers get to see a different point of view. It's like looking at a statue. We could be standing in one space looking at it, or we can walk all the way around it, or maybe get low or get up on a ladder and look at. When we have more than one point of view, we have a more three-dimensional look of the subject. And so we want to thank you guys for investing your time and being willing to share your experience here today. All right, I am going to start with let's see, I'm going to bring Paula up, so I'm going to take Nazario off for now, and Jade, and we'll be right back with you guys. All right, so Paula.
Hi.
Will you do me a favor and tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Well, hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. And I am Paula. I'm with Paula BM Photography. I have a studio in Boerne, Texas, right off of Main Street. And I create beautiful portraiture for women and their families. So I specialize in, for lack of a better name, term, like kind of glamour portraits, modern glamour portraits. I also specialize in senior photography, fine art children's, and creative branding for businesses and headshots. So I have been in business in Boerne I've had my studio for 2 years, and I've been working in Boerne for about 4 years full time. And before I lived in Texas, I lived in Los Angeles, and I specialized in headshots for actors and working with models in Los Angeles. When I moved to Boerne, that didn't exist in the way that I was making a living in Los Angeles. So I took a couple years off. I was still going into Los Angeles to shoot my clients and photograph them. And I was traveling a lot. And when I needed to like kind of stay put, I decided, let me reinvent my business. And I focused on women because I saw that there was kind of a need for that in Boerne. There are other established great photographers in Boerne that were doing a lot of families and children, and now like we're friends and I recommend them all the time for like babies and children, because I don't really do young children and I do not do babies at all. So I decided, where can I fit? And it was like really focusing on the women and getting them in front of the camera. And that's what I started doing. And now I'm here.
And you do it very well. I've seen lots of your work and I'm always impressed.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paula. I appreciate you being here.
Thanks
all right, so I'm going to bring on Nazario now. So let's take you off and bring Nazario on. Nazario, how's it going today?
It's going all right, man. It's going all right.
You got a lot of stuff going on in your life.
Man, I tell you what, if I had any hair, I'd pull it out.
Well, I want to thank you for being here. And I want you to take a moment to tell us a little bit about who you are and what it is that you do.
Yes. So for those who don't know me, my name is Nazario Guerra. I own and operate Guerra's Photography. I've been in business for just a little over, I think, 4 or 5 years. I'm trying to remember. Born and raised in Michigan, moved down here back in 2012, got married in 2015. And then that's basically when I really focused on the love for photography. Obviously, I started doing, like most photographers, family sessions, senior sessions, kids, pets, just kind of really trying to find my niche and trying to find a home for what I wanted to do with my photography journey. And long story short, just ended up honing down on weddings. I ended up finding out that I actually really enjoy weddings. I have anxiety, so when I shoot weddings, it actually keeps me calm, oddly. But Yeah, so I recently had a little newborn child. So beyond, my wedding photography, which I do and I'm very busy in, I'm also raising two little kids as well. So I'm just like, oh, my hands are full. But yes, I do. I don't just, photograph weddings here in San Antonio. Believe it or not, the majority of my weddings I'm actually traveling for. For whatever reason, I seem to find my client outside of San Antonio. So if I'm not taking a road trip via car, I'm definitely in the airplane flying to my wedding destination. I've done weddings here in Texas, Arizona, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Pennsylvania, North Dakota, Virginia, Florida. So I've gone around a little bit, tried to kind of establish myself and make a name for myself. It's definitely not easy with the amount of photographers out there, but I don't look at anybody as competition. I just keep positive and I keep going, and I'm always learning and trying to better myself to develop my craft to perfect it. And even then still grow. And here we are. I hope that is
Nice. Thank you, Nazario. I appreciate that. And thank you for being here. And I know, you've got a million things going on, and yet you're here uplifting the photographer community. So
absolutely. That's what I'm here for.
All right, let's bring on Jade. Jade, how's it going?
Doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. Could you tell us a little bit about you and what it is that you do?
Yes, of course. My name is Jasmine Jade with Walks of Life Photography. I moved here to San Antonio because I love the family-oriented way of life around here. And I just love connecting with my families. I specialize in storytelling and weddings and women empowerment. So I really just love to connect with my clients and tell their life story and be able to go along with them through each milestone and, capture what means most to them. As time flies by, I'm there so that they get to live in the moment and be themselves. So I'm really passionate in women. I feel like we need more women in business and more women in the media. So I'm always encouraging my clients to come out and show themselves and be confident and be true to themselves. So I really take pride in the impact I have made on families and the moments that I've been able to curate for them and capture forever. Photography is just something to me that's just so important to be able to have those moments through time to look back on.
Totally agree with that. And I'm glad you're here doing what you do. That's fantastic.
Me too.
Well, I'm going to ask you the first question.
Yes.
All right. And I'm going to put that on the screen so everyone knows what that question is. But can you give me your understanding or definition of what sales and selling actually are? What do they mean?
To me, sales is more about the process and, getting to the goal of, through the process of, what the customer wants versus how to get them there, how to find out what they're really interested in, what they really need, rather than selling is more like the product, the final, details. But, you have to have that sales journey to really understand your client best, to know what you are trying to sell them. You both have to be able to communicate on what they really need.
That makes sense. Communication, it's a journey. Great answer.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Jade. I'm going to ask that same question now of Paula. So, Paula, tell me about your definition or understanding of what sales and selling are.
Well, at the very basic level, it is an exchange of something of value. So a client will pay me or give me money, and in exchange for that money, I give them something of great value. So that's how I approach my work always. I see it as very valuable, and it is valuable to the clients, much more so, more valuable even at a later date than when they first get it. it is about meeting and exceeding a client's expectations and needs. And it's about building a relationship. So if you don't have trust and a relationship with your clients, you will not make the sale, or you will make a very low sale. So for me, when I think when they come in for their for the sales session, which I don't like calling it that, but like I call it that to myself. So when they come in for their sales session, I am focusing on the client. And at the end of the sales, it starts off as an exchange of something of value, but at the end, it's about emotion. And so that's what it means to me.
Perfect. Actually, it doesn't matter what anyone's answer is. If it's something that works for you and it's what propels you forward and causes you to be able to work well with your clients, then it's the right answer.
Yes, it's all about emotion.
I love it. Thank you, Paula. I'm going to bring on Nazario to answer that question now. So, Nazario, tell me about what you feel, what you understand sales and selling to be.
So obviously my definition of sales and selling is different because I do have a sales background. So it's a little different with photography. But with photography, me being specifically a wedding photographer, when I look at the words sale and selling, to me, I'm not a big fan of those two words. I like to, like what Paula was saying, I like to reference investing. So when a client reaches out to me for a wedding, they already see, tangible quality that they want for their special day. It's then at that point, not only when I'm offering them their package, but I also let them know there is an option to invest in your memories by opting to receive prints, metal prints, canvases, other different items like that. But to me, it's definitely in the photography business. If you're actually serious about this, it's not about selling. It's not about, I guess ideally it is, but if you want to have the right mentality, it's about investing for yourself and then for your clients to be able to give them that quality and memories back.
Perfect. Yeah. And thanks for sharing about, the previous experiences that you've had in different types of sales and selling, how they're similar, how they're different. So thank you for bringing that to us.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to ask you the next question, but you get to start off with it. And you guys that are watching, before I share that question, if you're getting something out of this already, if you're hearing some cool things, tell us that in the comments. Go over to the comments, hit that like button, hit that love button. Let our panelists know that you appreciate them being here. But say something in the comments. If they've said something that spurs a thought or spurs something, a question or a comment, put it in the comments. I want to see them. And I bet Nazario does too. So.
I'm all over the place. Don't mind me.
So here's the next question. This one's the longest one of all of them. But
oh, yay me.
how has your perception of sales and selling evolved over time? Because nothing is as it was when it started. We all gain different insights and understandings as we go through it. So how have you come to find joy in helping your clients get what they want through your sales process?
Great question. Thank you for that. So that actually kind of feeds into what I was just mentioning about the investing versus just selling just to sell with no emotion behind it. So for me, when I first started, I didn't really know anything about selling prints. I didn't know anything about upselling and doing this and doing that. I was just kind of like, hey, you're going to get digital prints and that's all you're going to get. And then as I grew and obviously networking with a great friend of mine, Daniel Grove, he's the one that really kind of opened my eyes about value and about investing and about, making the memories for the client last a lifetime in an essence, little cliche there, but, so I was like, you know what, you're right about that. So now it turns it from just, maybe selling an extra couple of digital images that I can quickly just, edit and that. Now I'm looking into what can I do to put your memories into your home. What can I do to help you, put, a 16 by 24 in your living room, so that way every time you walk through the door, you can relive that magical moment over and over and over, and it just strikes a smile every single time. What can I do to make sure that anytime you look at it, I was like, you would remember saying, yeah, I went through Guerra's photography. He was amazing from start to finish, and even delivered an amazing product at the end that will last for generations to come. Obviously, for them, it's a win-win. Obviously, I earn money to help provide for my family, and then, they still get their investment at the in their wall.
Nice. Yeah. And so that's interesting how that has changed over time. And I'm sure, a lot of photographers have experienced something similar. But every one of us has that process of,
Yeah.
What we think think things are supposed to be going in, and what we learn from ourselves, our experiences, and others like Daniel, and
Mhm.
who's a good guy, by the way, I agree.
Yes.
And
Great friend.
he's, uh, there's so many things that we learn and grow, and we want the best for our clients, and so that's why we keep growing and making adjustments, not sweeping changes necessarily, but adjustments that benefit our clients, and usually there's a cool side effect that it benefits us too.
Yes,
So
absolutely. Repeat
fantastic.
clients. Woo.
Right. Thanks, Nazario.
You're
I'm going
welcome.
to ask that same question now of Jade. So Jade, um, I think you're muted, but tell me what your thoughts are on this. I'm gonna read that question again. You probably were listening, but just in case, how has your perception of sales and selling evolved over time, and how have you come to find joy in helping others get what they want through your sales process?
I really agree with Nazario. So I have gotten into in-person sales and really being able to, I like to be able to come back to my clients and reconnect with them on the memories we created together and figure out, what would be best for them. Do they want to have albums, or do they want wall arts? I like to do that in person so that we can all laugh and share that time together. And like you said, repeating clients, that's what they like. They're also, interested, and they connect between families, and being able to provide lifelong quality products. I mean, that's really changed for me. At the beginning, I was just doing digital images and, you know, overshooting. And it's not about that. It's about the best ones that create the emotion and that they're going to want to look back on over and over again.
That makes sense to me. It is about emotion. That's something that's our product. Our product is emotion. That's what it's based in. It's interesting how we have a product that's so different than what everyone else sells, and I would say that it's probably the most important product. Now, I'm biased. I teach this, but I thoroughly believe in it. I don't believe there is a more important product or service, not even being a doctor. I think photography is number one. Now, I know there's very few people who would agree with me on that, but how many things has a doctor done that existed beyond death? How many things that we have done will not? So that's why I place it above, because what we create lasts much longer than someone's life, including our own. So I appreciate you bringing up emotion. So, Jasmine, thank you for that answer. And I'm going to ask that same question now of Paula. So, Paula, what's your opinion? How has your perception of sales evolved over time, and how have you brought joy to yourself and your clients through your sales process?
Well, first off, I used to hate sales. I think probably everyone does at first. It would make me sick to my stomach. I didn't want to
Yeah.
say a price. You're nervous. And
Yes.
I mean, it was just like, it was all the bad things. I would just say like maybe a lowball price and then give all the digitals, right? Just give them everything, make them happy. And what really changed for me doing that was that I quickly realized, because I'm kind of like, I mean, I've been in the arts my whole life, but I'm still very practical to a certain extent. And I was like, wait, let me calculate what's going on here. And you cannot make a profitable living, or you can't run a business like that. So I started really just digging into if I'm charging this much, these are the things I'm doing before the shoot. These are the things I'm doing after the shoot, plus the shoot itself. And it just never made sense. Like, it didn't make sense. So I was like, I cannot keep doing this, right? I should just go quit and like get some other job. So I calculated what I needed to make to create a living for myself. And it was a hard number to swallow, and I was nervous about it. But when I went back and started thinking about what do I provide the client, I realized that I offer my clients beautiful works of art, and now custom works of art made specifically for them that will last a lifetime for generations to come. So one of my really big things is that they will literally outlive all of us. And that's what I try to do with every shoot that whenever I'm working with a client, I'm thinking about how will this outlive us? What's the difference between what I'm creating for a client and another photographer is? And of course, everyone loves their photos, and that's great. And there's room for all types of photography, but for the market and what I'm trying to do, how will I exceed that? By creating tangible memories for my clients. And after we're gone, I always imagine that maybe someday up in a dusty attic somewhere, there will be a distant family member digging through things, through boxes, and they will come across one of my portraits and they will see it. And even though they may not know personally the person in the portraits, it may be such a beautiful work of art that they feel compelled to hang it on a wall. And so that changed my idea of selling, because I know that I'm creating something that will last far beyond me or my clients.
Love it. Yeah. I think most of us evolve similarly, especially at the beginning where we're afraid of sales. We're afraid to share our pricing.
Absolutely.
Because first of all, we love this and we probably all would do it for free. So it does feel at first like, should we be charging for this at all? Of course we should be charging for this. But then when we say the price, our heart is beating, and we're just concerned about how they're going to react to the number that we give them.
Yes.
That doesn't really go away, even though your price evolves.
No,
Because I still have that too. My average sale on a family portrait is $3,800.
yes.
And I still, when I tell them what the price is, I still feel that way. Now I say it very confidently. I'm not concerned. I'm not worried. That thought still crosses my mind because it's part of me, because I care about people's feelings, but it doesn't change. That's my price. So therefore that has changed over time. My ability to, come up with a price that causes me to be able to make a good income in photography.
Yes,
and you said you did that. You went through that process. So that's fascinating. That's really cool. Thank you for sharing that, Paula. So I've got the next question beginning with you. So let's bring that one up. We've touched on this already, but I want to go into it a little bit further. What are you doing and what are you saying that's causing a relationship to be built with your prospects?
Okay, so first and foremost, in every prospective client that comes to me, like maybe I get a phone call a lot of times. So I'm in Bernie, And I'm very, very social in the neighborhood, in the area. And sometimes people will just come up to me and they'll say like, "Oh, you're the photographer, right? Like you're Paula B in photography." And I'm like, "Yes." And they'll say like, "Well, I follow your work or this, and I want X, Y, or Z." And so like I really strive to create relationships. So I never photograph anyone. So if someone doesn't call me or email me and say like, "Hey, we need photographs. Can, what dates do you have available?" Or anything like that. So like I always meet with a client first, 2 times at least. Um, uh, 3 is kind of like my really lucky number. So if I meet with a client 3 times before we ever even shoot, I know it's going to be a very, very high sale. I know they're very invested in what I do, and they're very much so inclined to buy my largest package, buy all of the things. And I know that they're really just digging and appreciating what I do. So I strive for those meetings. And of course, that's how you build the relationship, right? So you're going into the building of the relationship is in all those meetings. So I couldn't build a relationship with someone if they called me on the phone and we had a quick conversation and I said, "Hey, yeah, I'm free next Thursday. Let's shoot." I don't know anything about you. You haven't met me personally. And so to meet someone face to face at least twice is very, very important. You will not have a high sale if you don't do that as well. I mean, I firmly believe that. I would question anyone that said they were selling like, even $1,200 sale without ever meeting anyone and just showing up and shooting. So it's about the process. And some people may be like ambivalent about it. Maybe they're not used to it and they just see your work and they really like it and they give you a call. But I promise, if you go through that process of like, well, first we have to meet, or let's meet, when can we meet? You kind of push that, it will result in a higher sale. And I think we're all here to sell our work and to make a living and to create an experience for the client. So that's kind of how I come to that. So that's what I do, my process.
Perfect. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, our goal is to portray. So therefore, if we just show up and press a button, how can we portray something we know nothing of?
Yes.
We have to get to know who it is we're talking about. So
Absolutely.
having these meetings, these planning meetings, these get to know you sessions, whatever it is that you want to call it, those are important if your goal truly is to portray someone or something or some group.
Yes.
So yeah, that makes perfect sense. Thank you for sharing that, Paula. All right, so let's bring on, let's see who's next. I'm going to bring on Nazario to answer that same question. So Nazario, can you tell me your opinion here on what it is that you do or say in order to build the relationships with your prospects so that they become clients, and then what happens after they're clients, that kind of stuff?
Absolutely. So this is actually, I'm not going to lie, and I'm sure a lot of photographers can relate. Talking to people, meeting in person is not the easiest thing, especially when it comes to business, because you're like, okay, what do I say? What do I do? What don't I do? What do I say? For me, when I first started with my journey, before I actually really went full-time in photography to provide for my family, I would probably just do like text messages and phone calls and hope that was good enough. But obviously, as time gone on, I realized that it was doing no justice, because now, I mean, yes, you're taking it one step further from chatting to on the phone, you get a voice, but you still don't know what the person looks like. You can't really kind of sense a vibe off of them. For me in wedding photography specifically, is again, this is what I do for a living. So I'm like, I have to do all what I can to make sure that these clients are comfortable with me and they're confident in their investment by getting me for their photographer. What I do is I do wedding consultations via Zoom. I used to hate doing that. I only did it 1 or 2 times years ago, and I never do it again. And nope. Just notice a decline in sales, notice a decline in like just a lot of stuff. The moment I started doing that again, it kind of got out of my shell and just kind of let my personality shine, reassuring them, this is what I can offer, this is what I can do, and then asking for the sale when I'm done. For me, that seems to work great because at that point they get to see who I am, what I sound like. They can tell if I'm like, scamming them or if I'm, sketchy person. A lot of the doubting and the insecurities or the uncertainties, they go out the window once you're on the Zoom call with them. Some of the older clients, because I've had weddings that I've done that are like, they're like 45, 50, 55. They're more, traditional. So, hey, let's go out for coffee or something. Those are like those one-offs. Okay, I'll go. I'm not a coffee drinker, but I'll go get a soda or something, But for me, having wedding consultations via Zoom has been a game changer. Absolute game changer.
All right. Wedding consultations via Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious, you said earlier that a lot of your wedding clients are from out of town.
Mm-hmm.
If the majority of your wedding clients were here in town, would you meet with them more often at the coffee shop or at their home, or would it still mostly be Zoom?
Honestly, as a father of 2 beautiful kids and 5 dogs, I would probably say definitely Zoom.
Okay.
Because then I'd have to try to schedule a time when the kids are napping, or if my mom, my wife can take them. If my wife can watch them, whatever the case may be, it's just easier to jump on the laptop. Hey, this day at this time, let's set up a 30-minute consultation. We can go over what, set the expectations, what we can do, what other, items that we offer, obviously upselling. And from there, I ask for the sale at the end of the deal. And if they say, yay, great, I'll send the contract over. About 87% of the time, they always book.
Nice.
So I'm at 26 weddings for this year, and I'm at 15 already for next year and 7 for the following year already.
Very good. I like hearing that.
I'm staying busy. I told my wife I'm going all in. She said, you should have quit your day job years ago. And I'm like, I agree, but you didn't let me quit. So here it is. So
there
I'm
we
late
go.
to the party, but hey, I'm making it progress here. I'm still trying to find my client. I'm still trying to find my type of client here in San Antonio. For whatever reason, I'm having a hard time. But everywhere else, it's easy. I love it. So I'll go wherever the money's at.
Whatever that magic is that you're sharing outside of San Antonio, identify it and apply it here, and you will have it in abundance. So
I'm trying
you're good.
I'm trying to. It looks like the hill country's calling my name up there, so we'll find it.
Maybe you just like to drive.
Hey, I love traveling, so I'm like, you know what? You're in Florida, let's go. Let's do this. You're in El Paso, that's an 8-hour drive, but I've done it many times for weddings, so let's go.
Love it. Thank you, Nazario.
You're welcome.
I'm going to ask that same question now of Jade. So, Jade, what are you doing or saying that's helping you build relationships with your prospects so that they become clients?
I love the answers we've gotten from both of them. I'm doing something very similar, sharing experiences. I love asking questions and really getting their why, asking and finding their input. When, clients love, especially brides or mothers, they love telling their story. So I love whenever I'm able to relate to them and get on Zoom. I do that. And whenever they're available to do coffee, I bring my kids with me. I just tell them, I don't mind, even for photo reveals, bring your kids, I have space for them, connect them in with us, and really just hearing their why and getting to know them. It all just starts to make sense for both of us, that it's, it fits. I don't ever want them to feel like their kids can't come or isn't going to be part of the whole process. You can hear mine probably.
They sound super cute.
Thank you.
And you're right. Knowing your why is something that we have to know. Again, we are portraying someone else. And if we don't understand who they are or why they're doing this, what are we going to do? Just show up and press a button? Well, the neighbor could have done that. We have to do something in addition to what the neighbor could have done. Or are we professional? maybe by strict definition because you got paid, but yeah, finding out their why. I love it. Thank you, Jade. Now, the next question is for you, but before I ask that question, I want to ask you guys: is this resonating with you today? Or are you hearing something that you can relate to, or that you can feel or understand or add to what it is you're doing? If you are resonating with what you're hearing today, just do something simple for me. Just write the word yes in the comments. Just the word yes. I want to see the word yes. Now, if you want to write thank you or I appreciate something specific, of course, I encourage you to do that. But take a moment, just right now, hit that yes. Just write in yes. And also click on that like button, click on that love button. All right. So here comes the next question for you, Jade. Let's see. What do you do when you've discovered that they are not the right client for you?
I pretty much bless and release and reconnect them with someone else. I mean, I know a lot of photographers in the area, and I'm always like looking at other, work. I love appreciating everybody's different styles and the way that they go about sales. I mean, if I know that they're on a budget, I don't mind at all. And, I know people starting off, and I just send them like questions like, it's no big deal. Either you can come back in the future if you change your mind, and really just like to let them know what I have to offer and where they can find what they're actually interested in. If they're, need something smaller or just like a mini session, then they can, go to someone starting out. But I never really take it personally. It's just not what they're looking for at the time.
So what causes you to be aware that they aren't the client for you? And what is the impetus that causes you to go ahead and suggest that you're not the right person and this other person is?
Maybe if they have, a different idea out of the scope of the work that I take care of, or if they're, super nitpicky. I like very go with the flow clients that like to trust in my vision. If they have certain wishes, we can, lead in a certain direction, but I never want to like go full force on copying or something. I do have clients that come in and they want, exactly this. And I'm just like, maybe you should reach out to that photographer. If maybe they can't afford that photographer, they should save up and do what, who they want to work with. I mean, I can provide the options that I'm working on, but if it's not a fit,
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So does that happen very often that you come across someone who's you feel is just not the right client for you, or is that pretty rare?
it can happen often, but usually they end up sticking around like in my comments or whatnot. It's a lot of people right now are just looking at digital images. So I have to, I like to show like whenever my clients are getting wall art and albums, I start posting it and showing other, prospecting clients that, hey, most people that are gotten professional photography, they realize, the true goal is to having lasting memories rather than just the digital images. I know the images I take on my phone, I never look back at those. I have tens of thousands, and I still look back at the maternity session that I have printed, or the one, that I got professionally that I love my outfit or whatever. I try to just connect those dots for them and help them realize how to get the goals they really desire.
So would you say that part of your job as a photographer is an educator?
Yes, most definitely. That's why I like to post, what I do and the whole process, even for the people that are just sticking around. They come in, they inquire, maybe they don't book automatically. I'm still working on building the relationship with them afterwards.
Nice. Thank you for answering those follow-up questions for me, Jade. I didn't tell them that I was going to put some questions on them on the spot. So each one of them who I've done that with, all of them so far have done very well. So, all right, I'm going to ask that same question now of Paula. All right. Paula. So tell me your opinion here. What are you, uh, when you discover that you are talking to someone in email or on the phone, that you've decided you've come to the conclusion that they aren't the right person for you, what are you doing? What are you saying? How does this happen?
So first off, if people email me and like they may say something in the email that tips me off, right? That I'm not the person for them. But I always get them on the phone. So I get every single person on the phone because a lot of times you can work through that. But if you cannot work through it on a phone call, first and foremost, I strive to be always very gracious and kind to each person that has taken the time out to reach out to me. Because it means a lot to me, and it means that they saw my work and that they were touched by it in some way, shape, or form. So I simply let them know that either I'm not offering what they want or need. I don't do that. And I do have a small list of photographers in town that I will recommend them to. And I let them know that these are the people I think that will make you happy, that will create the product that you want. And that's just pretty much what I do. And people, I've never had anyone get upset or anything. They're, because I strive to be so gracious, I have found that they're always very gracious with me as well. So I do always let them know that I'm always here for them if they are ready to come back to me. A lot of times it could be price points. So that's a non-negotiable thing for me. And I let them know that, if or when you're ready for this, I will be here for you.
Makes sense to me. Very cool. So, what are you doing in your marketing to reduce those calls that are not after what it is that you do?
Well, I'm very intentional with all of my marketing and what I'm doing. So I have created a brand, and everything that I do will be seen more of a luxury product. And I know it's working because I have people tell me. So like I've had people call me and say like, I don't know if I can afford you, but so I have worked extremely hard to create that image for my brand. Every shoot I do, everything that I put out, every single thing on social media. Also, I'm on TikTok. I make a lot of silly TikToks. They're really fun, so I like it. It's the most enjoyable thing I do. It literally is on TikTok. I'm like, I don't even care. Like, it's just so much fun for me. But there's always that era of like, I think you're expensive, and that's something that I purposely do because I am, and that's what I'm going for. It's not to say that someone that is less expensive isn't just as great or just as good or just as needed. But because I do come from like the mind frame of there are different things, there's luxury products, you can have a luxury purse, or you can have a very nice leather purse without the brand, and that's going to be cheaper. It doesn't mean it's cheap, right? But people buy different things. Some people buy a very expensive Kia car, or I'm sorry, or Toyota or something, and other people drive a Lamborghini. So where are you in that marketing? And I'm just doing me. There's room for all.
That's interesting that you say that, because I think a lot of either clients or even us photographers don't realize that we come in different levels, just like cars do.
Oh,
It
absolutely.
doesn't mean that those, let's say you are a more expensive car, it doesn't mean those other cars aren't good cars. They're fine, but we come in different levels, just like cars, just like restaurants, just like everything does.
Getting a car just based on reliability, I would get a Toyota. You know, but
Right.
if I want
Exactly.
like something really cool to show off, I'm going to get a Lamborghini. So we're all needed. There's room for all of us, and I'm hitting a very specific market. And yeah.
Well, let's go do lunch. Pick me up in that Lamborghini, and we'll talk.
Yes. I'll rent it.
Thank you, Paula. I'm going to ask that same question now of Nazario. All right, Nazario, tell me.
Oh, I love this. This is a good question.
So you've bound to have come across some people who just aren't the right client for you for whatever reason. It's usually not a non-issue thing. But what happens then? What do you do? What do you say?
Oh, man. In the line of wedding photographers, there is a gajillion billion here in San Antonio, man. So obviously, kind of like what Jasmine and Paula were saying, you know, when you know they're not the right client for you, you obviously want to try to do your best to try to find somebody else. Like with me, I'm heavy on networking. I know a ton of wedding photographers that are of a lesser price point than myself, you know, and I also know a ton that are more than myself. So for that, when I communicate with my clients, it's pretty much, I'm not just ready just to shove a price down their throat. I'm trying to dig for a little bit of information. I want to see, are they a price shopper or are they actually looking for quality? And the ones that are looking for quality are the ones that I get with the wedding consultations. The price shoppers, I usually shut those down right away because they're usually the ones that tattle on themselves. If not, I kind of probe it to where I make them tattletale on themselves. And they're like, oh, well, I'm on a budget. As soon as they say the word budget, I was like, look, what is your budget? Because I can almost promise you I'm not the one for you. But I usually try to see, because I'm like, okay, look, just, you know, we're not wasting, your time or my time. You know, if you're looking for someone and your budget's $1,600 for 8 hours, you know, I'm sorry, I'm not the one for you. But however, I can recommend up to 3 great photographers that I personally work with that would be able to possibly accommodate for that level of, investment that you're trying to do. Usually with me, I always kill them with kindness, no matter if they come back with a snotty remark or something like that. It always happens. Or I'm looking for somebody who doesn't cost an arm and a leg. Those are not my clients. And again, I'm usually quick to sniff them out. Again, I'm a high volume wedding photographer, so I've been doing this for a while to where I can really, again, kind of pinpoint, see where the conversation is going to go. And if they're just like, well, how much do you charge anyways? And I'll send them my pricing guide. And then 9 out of 10 times they'll ghost me from there. But yeah, usually, like I said, Jade, usually like what Jasmine and Paul said, I'm usually trying to help them, refer them. So they're not entirely out of a photographer, but they're getting a referral from somebody, who can help them without them having to jeopardize their day by getting somebody with the iPhone or something like that. Nothing against Apple, but, just in case. We've all seen those cell phone photographers at weddings.
Have you seen that photograph of, I don't know, it's probably 10 guests who stood in front of the photographer with their cell phones?
That's
the first kiss.
Yes, I've seen that picture, and I've actually lived through that myself when I was doing a very, very expensive wedding out in Fort Worth, Texas. Yeah, and they even told the audience that, hey, look, this is a unplugged wedding, but yet there they go. Choop. Fire.
Some people.
I was like, well, that's a good shot for the Bucks. I mean, the bride still loved it. I mean, I still got many other good shots out of it, but yeah, It's all about trying to help build a community. Maybe somebody's still starting out that can meet that budget. Hey, there you go. There's a lead.
Yeah, that's right. Well, the next question I'm giving to you first.
No.
So let's see. And before they do that, you guys, if you're hearing something you like, make sure to hit that like button or the love button. Or if it's funny, click the laughing button, whatever it is. If it's making you upset, hey, maybe Nazario brings up something that's a little on the controversial side. We don't know what he's going to say.
Also, arm and a leg.
You guys hit that like button and make comments. See, I've seen a bunch of you make some comments already.
Yeah,
in fact,
I see
maybe
my
I
friend
should look
Rick over there.
there.
26 weddings. Wow.
Yep. Yeah, I see that. Oh, and he's got a little complaint about you.
Uh-oh.
You're not a coffee drinker?
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, no, I'm my wife wants to try to get me. I'll drink a frappuccino. That's about the closest I can get. that's about it. If it's not that, it's soda and water. That's it. Just those three.
So for someone, that's been a deal breaker, I'm not interested in coffee. Like, oh, you're out. I'm going to hire someone else. So,
yeah, sorry. I was like,
man.
I'll take a water with extra spice, or I don't know, whatever they do with it. Cherry on top of the water or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll make it work.
Love it. All right. So what's the most challenging aspect of sales that you've come across? It could be a kind of a type of things that you're doing, or it could be a specific story that you want to bring up. But how have you overcome some challenge when it comes to sales?
I mean, it's again, it goes back to what I was mentioning early. For those who have a background of sales or have done any kind of sales, whether it be car, electronics, Best Buy, cons, whatever it is, it's always objections. So, and that's the biggest thing as photographers is no matter how good we are, no matter how much we charge, we're always going to get objections when you try to upsell or when you try to say, hey, I recommend this as opposed to that. You're always going to get objections. And the key is when you're getting an objection, you have to kind of separate yourself into two. You got to try to understand where they're coming from, what they're saying. And then you also got to try to reiterate and explain, and not so much explain, but you just want to reiterate and remind them that you charge or you're doing this because of whatever the case may be. So for me, the biggest thing for me, like it used to be a big thing, but it is canvases in the home. Now I can sell canvases easy, thank goodness. But before that was the hardest thing. But I love canvases. I personally have an attachment to canvases. I don't know why. I just love the way they look. So for the longest times, it's more of the pricing aspect, or maybe a size objection. And it's just hearing them and understanding, and then just empathy and just reiterating and just making it make sense to them. Because once it makes sense to them, price is out the window. That's literally what it is. You just have to listen, and that's it. Listen. And honestly, that gets me sales all the time. I make I make a pretty good living just on upsells from prints alone and canvas prints outside of my wedding packages. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Nice. So has it always been something that well, first of all, do you consider it easy or just part for the course, or something that is still a challenge even today?
From time to time, it could be a challenge. But I always offer options and variety, because what if the canvas is not for you? What if you have a small mobile home? What if you have an apartment complex where a canvas is just overwhelming? Then we can talk about wood prints. We can talk about, metal prints from, DPL. I work with Amanda sees me coming there all the time. So, there's, it's all about options and choices and giving them the power to choose, rather than just say it's one or nothing or all or nothing. It's, hey, you have X, Y, and Z. And we do all these different kind of sizes. And I can take care of it for you because I'm a full service photographer. Boom. They're like, oh, I don't have to worry about it.
What does full service mean to you?
Yeah. Full service for me, meaning I'm taking care of the client from A to Z. So before the event, during the event, after the event, and hey, who knows, even maybe a year or two after the event. My job doesn't stop with my clients. I'm telling them, like, look, I'm a friendly person. You know, you can communicate with me after the wedding. You don't have to, totally up to you. And 90% of the time, 98% of the time, they always laugh. You're a great guy, da, 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 you know. And they usually come back, hey, to do family pictures, do this or that. And it's just building that rapport, that relationship. Because once you build that relationship, which I tend to do pretty quick, printing and selling it makes it a lot easier. Because now it's just, you don't have that wall in front of you.
Nice. I'm going to give you my definition of full service, and you tell me if you, and by the way, there is no real definition of full service. It's based on what you think it is, because you won't find that in the dictionary, because there's not a
Yeah.
dictionary just for photographers. Well, let's create one, but there's not one yet. So I'm going to tell you my thoughts on that. My thoughts are, if there is any work, because we have a service, what we do is provide a service. And so if we give any work to them, that is not full service. If we're making them do anything, including if they get digital files and they have to print it themselves, or if they have to frame it themselves, or if they have to install it on the wall themselves, this is work for them that they have to do. If you're giving them any work to do, you don't fall in the category of full service. For instance, when I photograph a family portrait, during during the initial meeting, I'm in their home, so I can see where it's going to go on their wall. So I already know what size it's going to be. I already know, what material it's going to be printed on. I know all the variables. I know what frame that we're going to use, if we're going to use a frame. Every variable I already know during the planning session. And so at the end, when they choose the one that they want, I get it framed, and I bring it to them ready to go, and I install it on their wall. Either I install it or I have an installer do it. But I don't give them any work whatsoever. There is nothing there's absolutely nothing they could possibly do when they work with me. That's why I call myself full service. What do you feel about that?
And you actually make quite, actually a lot of valid points about, like I said, with the full service. If they're having to hang up the canvas, which I love, or metal prints, then that's, they're technically having to work. So it's not really a full service. Though for San Antonio clients, I actually do go to their location and I will hang the canvas or the metal prints on their wall as well. So I do that, but obviously out of towners, no. So I'm like a
Totally
personal full service over there.
Yeah, it's and that's I used to I didn't used to narrow down my range, and so I would travel not as wide as you, but I would definitely do some road trips, but I got to where I just didn't want to do that much, and so I only worked within a 10-mile radius of my office. It was on I-10. I'm not there anymore. And so my target market was within a 10-mile radius. And of course, in San Antonio, that means 100 or 200,000 people. So I'm fine. I can make that work for family portraits, in which there are a lot more of than weddings. So that is a totally different thing. And depending on where you live, let's say you lived in a small town, you're going to have to expand, because you may have, depending on how small the town is, there may be only one or two in a whole year. So
yeah, that's true.
So we have to take that into consideration also. What's your target market and how many of them are potentially available to you. But yeah, thanks for that little banter in there, just going back and forth. I appreciate that.
No problem.
All right, so I'm going to ask that same question that I just asked you now of Jade. So Jade, this question is for you. Let's see. What do you find to be the most challenging aspect of sales, and how do you overcome it?
The most challenging part would be, converting clients that are just interested in digitals to wall art. And I have considered doing that, which you mentioned to Nazario, is like offering, like, I can take all of the parts out of your hand by helping you and getting it together beforehand so that you know what the options are. And if you want canvas or metal art, I can show you the benefits of this and that. And I really feel like having a good welcome guide and even like a post guide, afterwards, the process of, getting your prints and stuff. I always have it come to me first, quality check, personalizing and stuff like that. And I've really been wanting to do more delivery. Just with the whole COVID thing, no one has been doing as much in-person things, but I've really enjoyed getting back out there and doing the reveal in person. So we're able to, they can see, you know, I have a set of artwork that I bring with me to show them like what have people purchased in the past, and they can physically feel, you know, the albums that they might want, or look at the quality of the prints, because you know, if you just go to Walmart or if you go to CVS, it's not going to be calibrated to the coloring, and it's going to come out dark, or, you know, whichever way. And so I really like being able to show them the whole process and outline it so they can, you know, feel more trust in me and the quality of products that they will be getting.
Yeah, I like how you're thinking that through. And COVID did change things for a lot of people temporarily. Obviously, we're getting back to pre-COVID stuff, but you have something to deal with that you and Nazario have something to deal with that some of us don't. For instance, I don't have kids in the home that require my attention all the time, so that makes it where makes it more plausible, makes it easier for me to get out and do the things that I choose to do, and more difficult for you to do it. And so maybe you find workarounds that accommodate your schedule and your lifestyle and that of your clients. So I'm sure those things would be considered challenges as well.
Yeah, it's definitely been a challenge, but like I mentioned before, like a lot of my clients do have children, so they really don't mind when they're around, and we kind of just are able to laugh and relate when they're going crazy. I've been finding a lot of like outdoor restaurants, and those have been the biggest of hits because our children are able to go play, and we end up, you know, just getting lunch. And I usually bring out my laptop and I'm able to show them that way. Or even if I have a couple prints to bring with me or an album, I'm able to just, you know, pack it up, and then all of our children just play.
Nice. Perfect. Well, thank you for that, Jade. I appreciate it. So I'm going to ask that same question now of Paula. All right, Paula. So can you tell me about what you feel is challenging about sales, and what have you come to overcome some of the problems or issues or concerns that you may have?
Well, the most challenging part or hardest part is simply stating the price, like just saying the price out loud. And how I have been able to overcome that is literally practice. So I've been involved in the arts my entire life. I was an actress. I did a lot of stage plays. I was born and raised in Los Angeles. And, you know, you go into character and you do those types of things. And so when I'm saying, like, you know, practice saying the price, I mean, literally, I practice saying the price out loud. Sometimes I have friends, I have an assistant that helps me a lot, and I'll sit and go through a sales process with her and just saying the price out loud. And it really does make a difference when that you're able to get through that. So if you do it once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times, 20 times, it's easier and easier each time. It doesn't mean that I go into sales right now like, oh, it's this much, blah, there it is. There's always a little bit of an uncomfortable feeling just in sales in general. But when your price is a little bit of a higher price point, you have that, it's like a little speed bump to get over. So it is the price, stating it out loud, and it is just by practice that I get over that. And also the knowledge that I have firmly believe the value of my work and what I'm providing them. But it's not easy all the time.
That's really good. Role playing is an intelligent way to
Yes,
become better at what it is we're doing. Sure, we can just fly off the
absolutely.
hip and just try things. No matter what, we're going to make mistakes. But if we've practiced this ahead of time, we're going to make fewer mistakes, and therefore our confidence level increases. So role playing is something that when I was I went to school for photography, but we didn't talk about the business side at all.
Mhm.
But in post college years, I took lots of classes and workshops, and I had mentors constantly, coaches. I mean, all that stuff. I was always working with someone, and most of them would either suggest or role play with me, or suggest that I do that with someone, and it was always more challenging to do it with the coach or the mentor. It was always but that was a good thing, because then when I was actually with the client, it made it easier. Now, it didn't make it easy, because a lot of us photographers are introverts to some degree, and so we are constantly concerning ourselves with what do they think about what I'm doing right now, what I'm saying, what do they think I'm about to say, what concerns are they going to have. We concern ourselves with those, and that's a good thing. That makes us probably better at what it is we do, rather than being oblivious to those things. But it does cause us a lot of anxiety. So doing that role play, I'm glad you brought that up, because that is a valuable thing to do with
Great.
friends or
It's
someone.
for every aspect of the business. That even like when you're shooting, like it's amazing. Yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you for bringing that up. I like that one. All right. So the next question is to you. But before I ask that question, I want to ask you guys, the viewers, if this is helping, will you do me a favor? Just go over to the comments and write, "It's helping." Let me know. Let us know. Our panelists love hearing this stuff, right, Paula?
Yes.
Oh, and by the way, click that like button, click that love button. We usually get a ton of people clicking that like button and love button. And you know what? On all the different places that we're simulcast to, 8 different places, it shows me the one that has the highest. The highest only has 8. Come on, you guys. Do you not like what the panelists are bringing to you today? Hit that like button, hit that love button. By the way, if you're watching from a cell phone, it allows you to press it multiple times. So go ahead and just click, 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 click. Let me know that it works, because I don't know if it works or not. Maybe yours doesn't. And now you can find out that your like button doesn't work. And then you can call Facebook and get it taken care of, because they care. They will listen. They'll get a human on the phone and fix it for you right now. So all right, put "it's helping" in the comments for me right now. Now, next question. Let's see. Do you invest time and effort into becoming better at sales? By the way, you've already just answered this question. We've talked about this question. So if there's more that you want to share about what you do in as far as your investment in time, this could also be in addition to the role playing. Are there classes? Are there people that you reach out to who you feel might be able to help you? Do you have a mentor, or do you suggest someone getting one?
Yes, 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 yes. Oh God, yes. This is what I spend most of my time on, honestly. I have the art background. I know I can create beautiful portraits for people. I know I'm good at reading people. I'm good at meeting the clients and really creating connections with them. I'm great at providing something they didn't even know they wanted. So I'm really great and good at all of those things. And what I really focus my time on is business and the art of the sale and the art of selling myself. So I read books, podcasts, anything I can get my hands on. And I love talking to people that just work in sales, like anyone, real estate agents, anyone in business. When you're selling a product or you're selling yourself, there has been nothing that has been as valuable to me and my business than getting tips and tricks from all of those venues that I just mentioned. So if I'm home, if I'm cooking, if I'm cleaning, when I'm at the studio, if I'm not actively engaged with a client, I will be doing one of those things, mainly like listening to something online. YouTube is great. There's so much free knowledge on YouTube. Go watch everything. And it's not just, a lot of stuff I watch doesn't even have anything to do with photography. It has to do with business and sales and marketing. So there is a world of information out there that is free for you if you just go and look for it. Just do it. You have time in your day. Sometimes at night before I go to bed, I will listen to something. It's really, really important. And if you want to elevate your whole game, your whole business, that's what you should be doing. Like, so you should be going and just doing all of the things that are free. Is crazy if you're not doing it. Go do it. It will make such a huge difference in your business.
Yeah. I mean,
Very passionate about
I
it.
can't say anything better. Yeah, there's a lot of resources out there. There's a lot of free
Absolutely.
resources out there. There's
Yeah.
paid ones too, and just like everything, you choose what you feel is best for your path.
Mhm.
Of course, we have to know where our path is leading us before we can define what's good or bad. I like to give the analogy of your business is a little bit more important than planning a road trip. Yet with a road trip, you'll at least plan where you're going before you
Well,
begin.
listen, for a road trip, I'm just like, well, we're going that way. Let's
Yeah.
go around. For my business, I'm like, no, I'm doing A, B, C, D. And I do have mentors. I pay for mentors. They're worth it. They
Yes, they are.
really bring the focus in. It's like you're on a 4-lane highway and you're going into a tunnel, and you have to invest in yourself and invest in your business in order to get through that tunnel, even get in the tunnel, right? And some people like are getting in the tunnel and then they just never get out of the tunnel. But there's no greater investment than investing in yourself.
Yes. Of course, again, I'm biased. I help photographers make a
Yes.
great income in photography. So of
I
course,
know.
I'm going to say, yeah.
I don't know maybe
What
myself,
Paula said.
but I agree.
Man. All right. So I'm going to be going to Jade next. So let me ask that same question now of Jade. All right, Jade. You probably didn't know this question was coming to you next, but I have a reason for doing it this way. So the question is, let me bring it back up. Do you invest time and effort into becoming better at sales? And if so, what do you do? And what would you suggest for others to do?
Well, Paula said so many amazing things, and you got to come for me. But yes, I definitely invest in time and effort into getting better in sales. I'm always working to know my client better. So, getting a secure process for your work and, getting your goal and their goal aligned, it just really helps. My process is just, working through it and telling them each step, beforehand, and just, I don't know. She really said it all. It's just in learning and reading things and my process.
I think the internet connection's a little bit going out. Just a second, because I didn't hear what the last part of what you said was.
Oh, sorry.
That's right. So, would you, if someone were to ask you, is there any benefit in having a mentor or getting a coach? Would you say that was a waste of money because there's plenty of free stuff online on YouTube? Or how would you react to a question like that?
No, I think definitely having a mentor is very valuable. Working along someone that has the same passion and the same drive to, you can watch alongside them, see how they do it and their flow. I think it's very valuable. I've second shot for Nazario, a couple times, and he's in the wedding photography a lot more than I. And it was really nice seeing, the setup, the way he does, and the flow. It's been really nice watching, and even just on there, what you provide online, these tips and tricks along the way, you start picking it up and then you apply it to yourself. It is very helpful, and definitely investing in yourself will always move you in a positive direction if you're up to applying it.
But isn't that hard to do? I mean, don't you have enough things to do already? Can you
Mm.
really add one more thing to the list?
Isn't that what life's about? I mean, you don't want to just do the same thing. You want to add more and continue to prosper. I mean, I
Yeah,
love adding more onto my task, honestly. The more busy I am, the happier I am.
nice. You know, that's an odd answer to that question, but I
Really?
really like that answer.
I
Ah,
have to stay busy.
nice. And that's when people are talking to me about, I have a free 30-minute business consultation that I do. And one of the things that someone does says, there's a lot of questions that people ask, but along these lines, someone says, but my plate is full. Otherwise, I would take you on as a coach or, take your classes, but I'm just so busy. I really don't have any time to take on anything else. I appreciate, this free private session you've just given me. But that's all I was able to make time for. And no matter how much I would really, think you're good at what you're doing and how much it would benefit, I just don't have time for it. And of course, I wonder how I should respond to that, because in my head, I'm thinking, you've just told me how you've been stagnating for years. Here's your reason. You've just told me what your reason is. And you actually know the solution. You just said what it was. You just allowed time to block everything and just be a kind of I don't know, a trump card when you're playing cards that says this is, this trumps everything else. And so therefore I can't get past it and I'm okay with that. But then I'm not okay with it. Wh- Come on, people. But you want to add more things. And uh, do you feel that you've reached a limit on what you can add, or keep it coming?
Oh, keep it coming for sure. I feel like when you start thinking that and limiting your beliefs that you are filled up, your time is filled up, then, like you said, you're just at that breaking point. And when you add a little bit more, you get a little bit more insight. I mean, I believe each and every person you can learn from, and you always have to take that opportunity and make time. I mean, time continues and continues. There's a lot of repetitive things in life, the things that you do that are new are what's going to push you.
Nice. Well, I had more questions prepared. However, looking at the time, we're not going to ask any more of the questions, but I do want to give each one of you an opportunity to give some closing thoughts. Would you like to share some closing thoughts on what we've been talking about today, or any last things that you'd like to share to encourage people to grow and reach whatever their definition of success is?
Basically, what your last question is, invest in yourself and find someone that you connect well with, that you believe you can learn from, somebody that maybe is a few steps ahead of you or even 10 steps ahead of you. Look up to them and connect, and stop thinking that everyone is competition, because really they are your friends and they are who you are going to learn from and come together to better everybody.
Love it. Good job. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm going to bring all three of you on here in just a moment after I'd allowed Nazario and Paula to share their closing thoughts. But thank you so much for being here, Jasmine. Excuse me, Jade. Why do I keep doing that? Good. All right. So I'm going to ask Paula to come on and share her closing thoughts. Hey, Paula.
So, hi. Okay, so I just gotta say, because I was like super excited about this question, and I think it's really, really important. So, like number 9, if you can ask that, because that would be my closing thought. The answer for number 9 question that you had, which is, yes, how do you handle objections and concerns from a potential client during the sales process? So I will say the greatest thing I ever learned from my mentor, one of my mentors, was to just shut up. It's so simple, but it works. Like, just let the client talk. You don't need to come in. You don't need to inject your thoughts or like why they should do something or how they can do something or give them, try to give them a deal or a bargain. If you have educated your clients and you have put down, these are the things you can buy, these are the prices, and they have objections to them, just shut up. Let them talk. I do this all the time in sales, in the sales session, and I will nod and let them know I'm listening to them, that I'm hearing them. And they almost always end up talking themselves back into a sale. So that is my number one thing. And when I saw this question, like, I loved it because it's so amazing, because they always do. They will talk themselves back into a sale if you just shut up. So I just want to tell all the photographers, just shut up, just let them talk, let them have their objections. And of course, there are times when a client will just keep finding excuses. And then at that time, I would just reiterate, like, whatever you have to offer. But like, I have payment plans. They could buy maybe, 5 photos. They can get the 1 photo that comes with my session fee and, whatever else they paid for, they can get that. And they can come back at a later time to purchase more. And I let them know that I am just here always for them, and that they can come back to me at a later date. But yes, just be quiet and let your clients talk.
That's a good one. That is a good one.
I'm super passionate about it.
We've got so much to say. We're so excited about this stuff. But we do have to allow them a moment of silence to think, to respond, to move in whatever direction forward is for them. So yeah, that's fantastic advice. And yet you might call it awkward silence, but it's necessary awkward silence.
Yes.
To cause, and that's kind of interesting, because in one of I've got over 200 different classes, but in one of them, we go through the sales process one step at a time. And one of the things that I have them do is, well, shut up. I just say this and then shut up. And, it's basically, the same thing that you're talking about, because we need to share what we have, and then we need to allow them to process and share what they feel about it. And you're right. They're gonna bring up an objection. They're gonna bring up a stall. There's gonna be some reason, possibly, but no matter what, it gels at that moment. It's just you adding in ingredients until you allow them an opportunity to think about it.
It's probably, I've noticed, the number one things that drastically increased my sales.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Paula. I appreciate that advice, and I appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to bring you back here in just a moment with everybody on, just so we can all say thank you. But thank you so much for being here this evening. All right. One last panelist is going to give his closing thoughts. Nazario, what can you tell us? What are your closing thoughts for today's panel on sales and selling?
I don't really know. Other than just, when it comes to sales, again, like Paula was saying, you just have to listen. They're going to tell you what they're going to want. They're going to circle back around and talk themselves back into a sale. Just be patient, let them talk. And, It'll benefit you in the long run. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It's happened at me many times with weddings. A lot of people, oh, I can't afford you. And about 2 weeks later, they come back and they're like, boom, somehow we came up with the extra money. We're going to go ahead and do it because you were very kind. We really liked the way you were talking. We really like how you represented your company. So, yeah, absolutely. Just patience and let them talk.
Very good. Yeah, that's exactly right. All right. Well, thank you so much, Nazario. I appreciate you being
Thank
here.
you.
I know you've got, as all the panelists do, you've got a million things going on, a lot of things that are taking your attention away, and you've made time because you believe in uplifting the photography community. So I
Absolutely.
appreciate that. I'm going to bring on the other panelists to have everybody on one last time before I let you go and talk about what's next, because we do this. We do the Portrait Profit show on every single Monday. The second Monday of each month is when we move it to 6:30 in the evening, like we're experiencing right now. But every other Monday, it's at noon, and it's a different business topic every single time. And so, obviously, I will be I'll be encouraging and, of course, telling you what the next ones are. But before I do that, Nazario, Jade, Paula, you guys freaking rock. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for caring about the San Antonio photographer community and beyond, because there are some people watching who are nowhere near San Antonio, but that's where we are located, in the San Antonio area. So thank you guys. You rock. You are appreciated by myself and Amanda and everyone in the greater San Antonio photography community.
Thank
you, and you're welcome.
I just want to say real quick, I'm so disappointed Amanda wasn't here. I love her. I love her work. I love all of her. I do some film photography as well, but I love her black and white and just her vision. So, like, bummer.
Nice. She'll appreciate that you said that, Paula.
Yep.
Thank
All
you
right.
so
Well, thank
much
you guys
for having us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It was definitely a pleasure. Definitely a blast.
Nice. So, do you guys recommend that people watch the Portrait Profit show?
Absolutely.
Of course.
Well, at least this episode for sure. I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's so expensive to join.
Yeah.
Free. So, hope you appreciate sarcasm. Thank you guys one last time. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jim.
You're welcome.
Bye. Nice meeting
You guys
you
have
all.
a good night.
Bye.
Woo! Another wonderful panel. Man, those guys, Paula, Nazario, Jade, fantastic people. I sure do appreciate them coming on and sharing what it is that they know, what they have experienced, and what they think is going to help you in the long run. Now, you guys know that the Portrait Profit show is every single week. So I'm going to tell you about the upcoming shows. But before I do that, I'm going to tell you about something we're doing in person on this Thursday at 6:30 at Digital Pro Lab. So let me put that on the screen real quick. Oh, it's not up yet, but I'll do it real quickly. All right. There it is. I think. Here it comes. Or not. Where is it? All right. Well, I guess I don't see the I was going to put up a graphic, but that's all right. So the next photo essay meeting, photo essay meets every single month on the second Thursday of each month. And this month we're going to be meeting at Digital Pro Lab at 6:30 in the evening. And we have a wonderful person who's coming on. Her name is Norma Bressi, and she is going to be talking about, let me bring that up. Inspiration. What inspires photographers to create wonderful images? Through the use of images, Norma is going to create and explore where photographers might find inspiration now and in the future. So 6:30 Thursday, this coming Thursday, just a few days away, at Digital Pro Lab. So come and have some fun. Now, as you know, Portrait Profit show is every single week. So 1 week from today, of course, we're going to be having a show coming on. So let's talk about what those upcoming shows are. And for this first one, let's see, is here we go. Oh, May 15th, 1 week from today. Let me take that banner off. 1 week from today is AI, and there it is. You should be seeing that on your screen right now. There we go. So automate your work routine with AI. I know AI is scaring some people. It's exciting others, but hey, there's some things that we can benefit from right now. And of course, these things change and they change quickly. But what can photographers do right now to using AI to help them? When you leverage AI or artificial intelligence to your daily working routine, you can streamline your workflow, save time, increase your profits. On May 15th, put this on your calendar at noon, we're going to reveal how you can use the power of AI to take your portrait photography business to the next level. Get ready to be blown away. That's pretty cool stuff. And then 2 weeks from now, on May 22nd, we're going to be talking about making your clients feel like a rock star. Discover how you can make your clients feel like a rock star and boost your business success. Learn practical tips and systems for delivering exceptional service and personalized attention that will set you apart from your competition and keep your clients coming back for more. And on May 29th, the last day of this month, we're going to be doing boosting loyalty through client feedback. This is just a tool that you can use to help you. And this is building a loyal customer base with the power of client feedback. Learn how to collect and analyze feedback based on and implement changes that will enhance customer satisfaction and drive repeat business. And coming up on June 5th, we're going to be talking about Marketing Beast, a wild guide to portrait marketing. Unleash your creativity and bring some serious fun and excitement to your marketing game. Join me for an outrageous presentation that will take you so far outside of the box that you won't even remember there was one. That is on June 5th. Add it to your calendar every Monday at noon. I appreciate you guys being here today. Remember that sales and selling are not about pushing a product or service onto someone. That's what bad salespeople do, and that has nothing to do with what sales actually is. Sales is building relationships, connecting with clients, and helping them achieve their dreams. As a photographer, you have the privilege of creating and preserving memories. Your work lives on long after you and continues to produce emotion. What other service comes anywhere close to that? So stand tall and proud and be the best salesperson you can be, because the sales process is what connects you to your clients to make a positive impact on their lives. With the right mindset, sales is fulfilling and enjoyable. Thank you for your time and attention here today. And thank you for the efforts that you make personally to make yourself an amazing portrait photographer. I encourage you to hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that in the comments right now. Say thank you to the panelists that were here today. Say, I appreciate this, or I got something out of it today. Because of those that you're going to take a moment to say thank you, I'm going to pull them up as I close this show off today. I'm going to show your appreciation so the panelists can see your appreciation. Do that in the comment section right now before I close it out. But I encourage you to like and share the Portrait Profit Show. And of course, tune in to our live stream a week from today at noon, every Monday at noon. Together, we can help each other achieve our goals and make a difference in the world through our passion for portrait photography. Now get out there, continue to make those amazing memories and evoking those emotions that bring happiness to others. For Landers Photography School and Digital Pro Lab, My name is Jim Landers, bringing you the weekly Portrait Profit Show, giving you evolving content, awareness, and even fun as we unpack the mysteries of the business side of photography with tips and insights to help you with the struggles that you're dealing with now so that you are consistently realigned to the path that leads to the success you deserve. Thank you for investing your time here at the Portrait Profit Show. I look forward to watching you grow. Bye for now.